Hi, everybody, and welcome to Worried to Wealthy. Today, what we're going to talk about is my worst nightmare for investing became my first investment. I think a lot of you are like me, where you don't want to invest at, the right before a crash, and you don't want your first stock to basically crash right when you buy it. So that's exactly what happened to me. So we're going to get into that. Um, just a disclaimer, this is not financial advice. I want everyone to do their own research. The whole point of this channel is to basically watch me on my path to financial independence, and hopefully it inspires one person. And again, just do your own research. Don't buy stocks or buy anything just from some guy off YouTube, aka me. Just do your own research. I said it not only to protect myself, but to protect you as well. I think when you research your own holdings, you have more conviction in what you're holding. What we're going to do here, we're going to give you a quick update. No update as of now. We're still waiting for May. It looks like it's May 24th. So we're still waiting for May to end. And what I'm excited for is June. June should be a big dividend month for me. Anyways, so going on to my worst nightmare became my first investment. So what ended up happening is I started out investing in 2020, right around here. And basically, what ended up happening was the 2020 pandemic happened. It was a wild ride. What I want to show you is what I first bought, which was ExxonMobil. Oops. Not that one. Going to ExxonMobil there. And so I'm going to go down. I'm going to show you guys. It's pretty embarrassing, but it's kind of hilarious in hindsight. Go to orders here. And so I want you guys to remember January 12th and November 4th. What I ended up doing, and what I thought at the beginning is, in the beginning of 2020, I said, there has to be more to life. My buddy told me about financial independence, and I thought he was crazy. But then I started to research it, and I realized it was true. And I looked at and read Your Money or Your Life by Vicki Robin, and it really inspired me to go after financial independence and have enough money to cover all my expenses and to go up from there. And so this was my first purchase. Exxon's not a bad or a good stock. Again, do your own research. Don't buy from someone just because they said it on YouTube, but it was pretty wild. I was pretty scared. I first bought in on January 12th, and I was scared. I almost sold, almost like, decided to sell it like 2 weeks later or something like that. And what ended up happening was, as you can see, I went from over 4,000 to less than $2,000. Um, as we go back here, basically what ended up happening is right here is when I bought. I wrote this thing down, and if you go back in the video, I bought right around here, one share only. I thought that would help me sleep at night. And I wish I held. And if you look right here, I sold on November 4th. So that's about right here. Look what happened to the stock afterwards. I just, I probably would have doubled my money, and including a nice yield and, those dividends coming in, probably would have doubled my money. It shows you that if you buy close to the dip or here, look what happens. Of course, I bought it right around here, but at the end of the day, I didn't know what I was doing. I wasn't reading the financials. That's another thing, is that there's a reason why I invest in ETFs and I don't invest in individual companies. So that way I don't have to worry about any financials. The reason why I ended up selling it was because I saw these articles coming up, they're not gonna raise their dividend. They might cut it, or and another thing too, during the pandemic, I don't know if any of you guys remember, oil went negative, which was just absolutely wild to me. And at the end of the day, I thought, okay, if they're not making, if their like revenues got cut in half or whatever it may be, well, like, how are they going to pay their dividend? There's even talks about them borrowing money to pay the dividend. I was like, this is a ship that I have to get off of. I don't want to lose any more money. And obviously, hindsight is 2020. I would have loved to be on this gravy train as it went up. Um, And as we look through here as well, here's a kind of a cool video. As you can see, if you guys have ever watched these, I think they're pretty entertaining. ExxonMobil in the 80s, big company, one of the biggest. As you kind of scroll through, I'll just kind of keep going faster here. It's kind of always in the top 10. It was just such a big company. And what ended up happening was around 2008 is when, of course, the iPhone came out, right? Um, and right around here, and this is where Microsoft starts to come up. I think Apple joins right there. And then by about 2018, I believe, let me forward here just a little bit longer. Um, by 2018, ExxonMobil, I think, just completely disappears out of the top 10. And so for me, whether if it's are they a valuable company or not, are they going to pay their dividend? For me personally, ETFs are just the way to go. I didn't want to do rentals because I don't want to deal with tenants. And so I don't want to, I definitely don't want to be reading financial statements. That's another thing that I don't want to do if I'm not dealing with that either. And so even if they cut it, right? So if I have an ETF with, let's say, 300 companies, right? And Exxon cuts its dividend, I might not even notice because 299 companies also just increase their dividend. I might not even notice. Um, so again, that is my story on my worst nightmare became my first investment. And again, I think a lot of people are like me where they don't want, to invest right before a crash and they don't want their first investment to basically get cut in half. And that's exactly what happened. I'm super glad that it happened. In hindsight, it really tested my nerves and I've learned a lot, especially at the very beginning of my investing career. If you like this content, please subscribe. I'm trying to put this out for free. The reason why is because I think for myself, I really, really appreciate when there's people either ahead of me or alongside or whatever it may be that are kind of opening their books, and not a lot of people want to do that. And so that's what I want to do. I just want to help one person if I can. Right now, we're working to get to 10 subscribers right now. So subscribe if you haven't yet. And also, if you have any comments, I'm sure everyone's got one where they bought one and it just absolutely tanked. Would love to see some stories. So I'm not the only one. But until next time, I appreciate it, and we'll talk to you soon.